Hey everyone, it's good to see that there's been actually quite a few people that want to watch my videos and whatnot, so thanks so much for that. Like I said in my previous videos, just any suggestions or anything is really all I ask from you guys watching to help me come up with more content and whatnot. And if you want to ask me any questions about my videos or want to have a discussion, just feel free to message me and I would be more than happy to. Firstly as well, I want to thank Dom Curcio, good mate of mine, for the suggestion for today, which is going to be lucid dreamings and I guess are they real at the same time, but I'm not going to focus too much on that aspect. So I'm going to start off by saying, yes, I think dreams are very important, and it's actually a lot easier to lucid dream than people would expect. For people who don't know what lucid dreaming means, it's basically the ability to be able to control your dream. So first step is realizing that you are dreaming, and then being able to control your dreams while you're still sleeping. First thing I wanted to clarify, which was a question, was are dreams actually happening? Look, like I said, this is all just up to personal belief, and as I've previously said in my other videos, I believe anything that is happening around us at any moment is our reality and is what's happening. Because everything's just in your brain anyway, which means when you're dreaming, well, you're just in a different, you're still, that's still real. It's just you're not in this physical world that, our awake world, as we'd call it. So yeah, dreams are real. It's just not, you just can't really bring stuff from dreams, obviously, into what we call real life. But to me, it's just dimension hopping, I guess. You're just in a different dimension at that time. And yeah, so, and I know a lot of people are wondering or asking me, or I've been talking about, are dreams you just looking at yourself from different perspectives in different other dimensions? I think this could be a good possibility. A lot of people think that there's multiple yous, unlimited yous, just in different dimensions and whatnot, like parallel universes and stuff. I think I'm going to talk more about that in a different video, but yeah, I think it's a good possibility that it could be the case, and definitely have an open mind to this video. I thought I'd give a few tips on how to lucid dream easier, because I know there'll probably be a lot of you that would think it's really hard or wouldn't even know where to start on being able to do that. So the first thing I suggest is anytime you have a dream, just as soon as you wake up, write it down, because what tends to happen is you probably have lucid dreamed multiple times before, you just don't remember it because people forget dreams often when they wake up. But if you write it down and then read over it every now and then, even if you don't read over it, just the fact that you're writing it down helps implant it more into your brain. But yeah, the more you read over it, it's just like schoolwork. The more you revise it, the more you remember it. And that will also help because a lot of the time you have the same dream more than once. So if you write it down, you remember it, then you have that dream again, you will easily be able to lucid dream, since you know for a fact that this is a dream. It's not our awake life. Another tip would be only do this if, lockdown's probably the perfect time to do this, because it would require you to not need to get up too early in the morning. But the later you go to bed at night, I don't know why, I should have to look into that more, but the later you go to bed at night, the more you dream, which means obviously the more you're going to remember, which means the more you'll have the potential to lucid dream. And the last tip I'll be able to give is throughout your normal day, everyday life, awake life, check your phone for the time or check a clock, and do that constantly, because obviously in a normal day the clock's only going to go forward. It's not going to do any weird stuff like going backwards, and you're going to be able to read it easily. But when you're in a dream, for some reason we can't comprehend time so well. You will look at your phone or a clock or something, you'll say one thing and then you'll turn around and look back again and it'll be completely different or something like that, 90% of the time. So that's also a good indication that you're dreaming, because the first step really is you got to realize that you're dreaming. I know a lot of the time you're in a dream and the most random stuff could be happening, but for some reason you just are okay with that, that's just normal. So that's what you got to really get out of, which is probably the trickiest part, as well as not being able to remember things that well. And then you're set, really. Now another thing that I was asked to speak about was, do I think dreams are linked to past lives, or are dreams reflections of past lives? I think dreams can occur from many different things, random lessons, and yeah, even past lives. It really just depends on what you need to see at the moment, or what your subconscious thinks you need to see at the moment. But yeah, have you ever been like a dream where you feel like you recognize the place really well, but you know you've never been there before, or something similar to that? Like you're in a space that you don't recognize, but you do at the same time. Like you know where to go. You've never been there before, but you know where to go, and you know what's going to be around the corner or something like that. I think that's a good indication that you're having a memory from a past life that's been brought into this one. Because during dreams, I think all of your memories will kind of get jumbled together, but obviously your most frequent ones and the ones you remember more are the most common, which is the ones that we experience in our awake lives in this ego. But you know, your memories from past lives, if they exist, they can't just disappear like that. If we're a soul carrying, if we're an energy carrying, you know, experiences, then it's still got to be with us. And I think dreams are really the only way we can get those back. This is a bit off topic, but I'd recommend for anyone that's interested in this stuff to look into children and the amount of times that they remember situations so vividly. I can't remember exactly names or documentaries or whatnot, but I know there's plenty of them where kids have like been like, there's one I saw about some kid who kept telling his parents, like some 3-year-old kid or 4-year-old kid kept telling his parents that he died in a fire at some place, and they thought like it was just going on about nothing, and then they did research on it, and then when they found photos and people that would be related to the issue he was like talking about, the situation, he like was like, yeah, that's me, or that's the place, and they actually took him there and whatnot. Apparently he actually got like most of the details correct about what happened, and he was such a young age and whatnot. I think that's just a clear indication that you can recall memories from past lives. But you know, once your brain's getting filled up with all of the senses in this one, those other ones are just going to get flushed out, which is why it's the kids that are able to do these more often than you know, people our age or older. Next thing I wanted to talk about are dreams just random, or are they lessons? I think they could be both, really. If you don't really need to learn anything new at the moment, you might just have something in a dream to keep you entertained while you're sleeping, just some funny stuff or whatnot. And I think that's where lucid dreaming becomes the easiest, where you're having a dream that doesn't really mean anything, so go ahead, control it, whatnot, if you're able to, and you're able to realize that you're dreaming. And I'm not saying that if your dream is meant to be a lesson, you can't lucid dream, because even when you lucid dream, there's a lot of things you can't control, like the environment, just the general energy around it and stuff like that. Like there's always like a base. But yeah, I do believe that the dreams that you remember the easiest are the ones that are subconscious lessons. The way I see it is, you know how like you watch a cartoon or something when you're younger, you watch a cartoon and it's like some of them are really funky and they have really weird storylines, but in the end there's a lesson behind it, and that's why they do these in kids' cartoons, because for some reason we remember lessons more when unusual circumstances are the issue. Like it's pretty hard for us to remember a lesson in a pretty unrememberable moment. I don't even know if that's the right word, but that's why cartoons work so well, because there's really weird situations, but there's a lesson behind it, and you remember that lesson more because of how weird the situation was. And I think that's how dreams work. Like how a lot of the time you'll have a really weird dream and you tell someone like, oh, this whack stuff happened in my dream, and then they'll be like, oh, that's probably a message, and then you gotta like dissect it. You gotta determine for yourself what the message is, because you know subconsciously what you need to take out of a dream. So the lesson could be multiple different things, and then what you pick out of it is probably what you need to take out of it, because your subconscious works in like crazy ways like that. You know, I think a lot of the time it's basically trying to just give you a little help, saying, hey, heads up, you need to work on this, like, or you're just going to keep repeating the same stuff over and over again. So how I think it's crazy how the human brain works like that, as we are our own teachers and we do these crazy methods to, you know, get us the hint, like, oh yeah, you got to do this next time, you got to fix this up. Also, because I think there's a lot of things that we as humans just can't comprehend, and this is our kind of like loophole around it. you know, there's like, we can't just have a dream where it's us telling ourselves, all right, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, like, because we'd be like, what the hell just happened? Like, and then we'd know like something, some crazy stuff is going on or whatnot. You know, so there's a lot of things we can't comprehend as humans as well, which is, this is really our body's way of making us being able to comprehend it to the best as possible, and then like coming to the realization for ourselves on what we need to do better with our lives. And you know, stuff like has been mostly opinion based up to this point. The last thing I want to talk about is actually scientific evidence and fact, which also is a part of the reason why I strongly believe that dreaming and lucid dreaming are meant to be teaching us like subconscious lessons and whatnot, and are purposely there for our brains to help us learn. So it's actual fact, and they did scientific discoveries on it and whatnot, that when a person is lucid dreaming, a small part of their brain is actually awake. It awakens. The rest of the brain stays asleep and one part stays awakened. So this part's called the right dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And this part of your brain is what we use in everyday life for memory, decision making, and self-assessment. 3 crazy things to be linked in with dreaming. So when you lucid dream, this part literally awakens, even though the rest of your brain's asleep. So you're literally using a part of your brain that you use in your awakened life while you're dreaming, and you're fully controlling everything that's happening. You know, that's personal opinion. That's just straight like proof that, you know, dreams are real. Like, I know dreams don't affect our awakened life, but that does not mean that they're not real. If we said they're not real because they're just in your head, well, then nothing's real, because everything's in your head, even when you're awake. It's all just your brain telling you this stuff, like I said in the previous video. But anyway, that's just the last thing I wanted to get out there, just how crazy it is that your brain, a part of your brain, actually stays awake when you're in a specific time of dream. It's when you're controlling the dream. So it's like you're awake, but you're not at the same time. I think that's really crazy. Anyway, like always, thanks so much for watching, going out of your way to, you know, listen to what I have to say and whatnot. Please give me suggestions and stuff, comment suggestions for a video for me to post tomorrow night or later on in the week or something. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to message me. If you could like and subscribe as well, that would be awesome. And yeah, thanks so much again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll be posting again tomorrow night, of course.